You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Do you have a paranormal story you want to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio? You could be a guest. Email us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com.
Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News. I'm James Creechbaum. Mystery black raindrops fall over Japan. Authorities in central Japan have been trying to track down what was responsible for turning rain black. Now, black rain is considered to be something of a sinister omen in Japan, as it resembles the rain that fell following the dropping of nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. The city of Hasuda officials have since issued a statement announcing that an investigation is underway. However, some news outlets have speculated that a fire at a plastics factory could be to blame. Whatever the case, it's not something residents will want to see happen again anytime soon. A mysterious river monster of Georgia. Through the countryside of southeastern Georgia in the United States is the Altamaya River, which stretches for 137 miles, making it one of the longest rivers in the state. Many animals that inhabit this vast expanse of river territory and its murky waters is supposedly a mysterious, frightening beast that long terrorized the native tribes and which has allegedly been seen haunting these waters to this day. The Lower Muskogee Creek tribe often spoke of a creature they said to be an alligator-like reptilian beast, around 20 to 30 feet long, gray or green in color with a whitish-yellow underbelly, and with front flippers instead of legs, a powerful tail, a bony armored back, very large eyes. Sightings have continued right up to the present. In 2002, a boater purportedly saw a 20-foot long, 6-foot wide reptilian creature break the water as if coming up for air. As recently as 2018, a mysterious carcass purportedly washed up to the Wolf Island National Wildlife Refuge. A photo was taken of the dead creature. Mysterious wall of bones was found under the cathedral in Belgium. While digging the foundation for a new church extension, workers discovered something truly sinister. Archaeologists who arrived at the excavation site identified a real wall made of human bones. These were mainly the bones of the thighs and lower legs of adults, mixed with fragments of shattered skulls. The remains date back from around the 15th century. However, the scientists admit that they have no idea why it was necessary to erect a semblance of a wall of human bones. The lead researcher said that usually in the funeral pits, the bones lie abundantly, but more or less freely. In the case of the Cathedral of St. Bravo, the remains were specially laid as so to create a single dense structure. Could a bubble of nothing eat the universe? According to a physicist, a hole in the fabric of reality could wipe out everything in the universe. The idea concerns a bubble of nothing that could spontaneously form and continue to expand like a reverse Big Bang, eventually wiping out the entire cosmos. A bubble of nothing describes a possible channel for universe destruction, in that the bubble of nothing expands and can eat all of space-time, converting it into nothing. There is one major consolation, however. The fact that the universe is still here after more than 13 billion years of existence suggests that such a fate is not very likely and may never happen at all. If you have a news story you want us to share on Night Dreams Talk Radio, contact us at jamesnightdreamstalkradionews@gmail.com.
Are you ready to go for a real ride in the paranormal? Well, you tuned into the right show. Today we're talking Bigfoot, cryptics, UFOs with Ryan and James. Get yourself something warm to drink. Curl up next to that fireplace. And let's go for a ride. Our rig is all fueled up. And we're ready to go out and explore. On Night Dreams Talk Radio. And we are back. A big shout out to 105.3 FM, 1380 AM. And if you're listening on one of the other stations, well, have them get a hold of us and we'll announce them too. James, Ryan, well, what is your feeling about Bigfoot, Mothman, and some of these other cryptids? Do you feel they really exist? Or is it folklore?
Ryan?
Go ahead, James. You take this one first. Go ahead, brother.
Well, I like to base everything on evidence. Even the supposedly Bigfoot I saw almost 30, I don't know, 8, 9 years ago, whatever, I still have doubts about it. But what else could it be? I mean, what else could it be? I've seen tracks, but never found any tracks on my own. I've seen tracks that other people have found. I've seen legit structures in the woods in the middle of nowhere by myself. This was years ago. I have trouble accepting structures I see nowadays because it's been so polluted. Everybody knows about these things. It's like knocking on wood and you're hearing knocks, but yet it's another group of people a mile across the valley doing the same thing. There's just too much of it. But yeah, I definitely think there's a cryptid out there. I do think it's a flesh and blood thing. I do think that it's some kind of an offshoot of maybe mankind that survived from what the research I've found up to this point. But, I mean, that could change with other research and data that I find. However, so far that's what it points to, so to speak. Again, I've never seen one, but maybe that one I think I seen. So that's what I think they are. As far as Mothman, I don't know. There's so many sightings of Mothman, especially in the Chicago Rosemont O'Hare Airport area, that there's got to be something going on there. I mean, we're talking 130 some reports in the last few years. It's just mind blowing. So there's got to be something there. But I think a lot of things, Gary, with the magnetic shift going on, a lot of animals are getting out of whack. And I think a lot of it is misidentification, just like that incident I told you with that owl. I could easily see how somebody would have thought that was a Mothman or something else because it was so fast and big. But that's where I'm at so far with I try to go with evidence that I have. I don't like to just use my beliefs because your beliefs can limit you to really finding out the truth.
Well, you're so right. Again, I guess when you see something, the first thing in your mind, guys, is denial. If it's something you grew up with thinking, come on. I always thought Bigfoot was, nothing. It was just a rumor that, it started from, the Indian tribes and stuff like that. But after my experience, I believe if there's a Bigfoot, then there could be other things. And, we've had Joe Taylor on here, about a dozen times in the past year? And he's always telling us stories about, like, dinosaurs and Argentina, Brazil, the rainforest. Because of our oxygen content, they're not like they used to be in height because the oxygen level is not there to support that massive growth. But there has been reports of like dinosaurs scaled down to like 9 feet, 10 feet tall, 12 feet tall. So if those could exist out in pockets of other places, then why can't Mothman or, some of these other dogmen or some of these other creatures exist?
That's true. And, another good one is the mermaid. And it's not, the one that, that's obviously on TV. There's several sightings and accounts of mermaids in the 60s and the 70s, and also during World War II. But for the most part, usually in the 60s, there were several sightings of these mermaids, right? And they all had the same description, and they were all from, I think, 3 different countries. They were on the shores. They all said they had spines coming up all the way to the top of their heads. Matter of fact, it would come up to the back of their head, and it would stick out just a little bit. They all had orangish red color hair, and it looked like it felt like straw, they said. And they also all had algae growing on them, and they also had spines coming out of their elbows, coming up from their hand to their elbows. Now, these descriptions all are from the people who have seen these creatures, but none of them know each other. I mean, and this is all done from, I forget his name, but one guy did 2 accounts, and matter of fact, one time he was going to see one. He said, next time you guys catch one of these, I want to see it. So the fisherman agreed. I think this was off the coast of Japan, actually. And so they said, hey, they caught one. So he goes to where they caught, and this is actually a totally different creature. But it was the one that I just mentioned. It had, the spines coming out of them, everything. So it just, like, to me, you guys are talking about Bigfoot and stuff like that. Or I guess recently I haven't seen too many mermaid things, but you do hear about them, though. But that's just another one to me that's just, I guess the possibility of someone making up the same exact type of creature that lives in a whole other country is, it's near impossible, to describe the same exact thing. So, there's another one for me that, and I guess to me, I do believe in those ones, I guess, because the accounts are so, I guess, accurate. And I guess there's a lot more too, but I get some more information on it, I'll let you know.
Well, how about squid? Giant squid. Back a couple hundred years ago, the ships weren't that big. I mean, let's face it, people can go out and buy a boat as big as some of the old ships going back 200-300 years ago. And they would be out there saying that a big giant sea monster would grab a hold of the ship. Well, you know what? I was reading an article here, a science article back a couple months ago, that there is giant squids down deep in the oceans. If one of those kind of migrated up towards the surface for some reason, that could be, interpreted as a sea monster because they, again, what are these boats, 50, 60 feet long, and they used to travel the ocean with them? And if you have one of these creatures grab a hold of it, I'd be panicky too. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what about this squid you're talking about? If you want to really know and get a grasp on what a squid can do, look at a big sperm whale. They've got scars going all down the sides of them from the tentacles, and the suckers on them tentacles biting into the whale as they're trying to eat the squid. So it's like a battle of beasts. So, and these things, we don't know really what's down deep in the oceans or how big something truly can get. There was a picture recently, Gary, of a great white shark that was probably 15 foot, bit in half. And you could see the mouth that bit the head clear off of that shark. So what bit that shark? Think about that.
A prehistoric bigger shark, that's what.
Yeah, we're starting to get into the good ones here. And like you said too, James, is in those whales' stomachs, they found, tentacles that are, so and so feet long that, it's just it's for sure that they got in a fight with a colossal squid,
Another fish that has been mistaken for a sea monster and a giant serpent is the oarfish. Have you ever seen one of those? They're like 20, 30, 40 feet long, and they got like a big crest on their head, and they're amazing, odd-looking fish, but I can see how those could be mistaken for sea monsters, too, throughout the years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Oh, but I was going to